Kia ora, good evening. My ex algorithm, obviously, because of everything I'm posting to do with my vision board, stuff keeps coming up about old classic horror movies, and I got reminded of a mummy movie. And I thought, oh my god, I haven't done a mummy movie. Because I want to be the queen of horror. I want to absolutely slay it come Halloween time, right? In a few years, I want all our movies to be like cult classics where, like, long after I'm dead, people are gathering at the theatre and all that, and to sit outside the grounds, on the grounds at Fire where we put up big screens and play all the movies that we made while I was alive. I want to be the queen of Halloween. And that's why I've written a lot of horror movies, but I've got my slasher movie, my serial killer movie. I've got Mother Knows Best, my vampire movie, Black Night of the Sun, my zombie movie, my werewolf movie, my vampire movie, my supernatural thriller, my occult thriller, with the exorcism and all that. I'm covering all the genres, and I haven't done a mummy. And I was reminded, and I thought, oh my god, I have to do a mummy, and I've even got the character for the movie all ready to go, and that's Lady Astrid Richardson. Astrid is her real name, Lady Astrid Richardson, but everyone calls her Asti for short. And she's an archaeologist from like the 1920s. Remember I was saying the other day in my Star Wars movie where I accidentally said Carnegie instead of Carnarvon. I did recorrect it in the description box. So then I was thinking I need to come up with a story, but the thing is that like recreating ancient Egypt and all that sort of thing, or filming on location in Egypt would be quite expensive, and we need to be able to build sets and all of that, within a certain budget. We're going to have budgets, and it's not that I can't afford to make big budget ones, but I want to keep within a budget because I'm trying to get everyone to be as creative as they can with the budget we have, because I'm trying to recreate movies from my parents' day and from my day, from the 80s and 90s, the sort of movies they made in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s sort of thing. People are screaming out for old school movies, and that's exactly what I'm giving them. And so, like a Hollywood movie back in the day wouldn't have filmed on location in Egypt. They would have had their film set, and we will have our big hangar, to turn into a film set and that. So, but what I was thinking was, see, because Asti is basically immortal, she's like Ben. She has her kryptonite, but as long as she doesn't trigger anything, she's immortal, just like Ben, the Quantum Menace. And she helps Ben decipher a lot of things that are written in hieroglyphs and ancient texts and ancient artifacts. She's able to help Ben read the codes in a lot of the books in that, and it's actually Asti who points now Ben. I've put a link in the description box where you'll see me introducing Asti as a character for the Beyond Life program, my inmate program, because it's my inmate program, my Beyond Life program, that is going to be doing the comic books, and that's what my nephew Jacob's going to be overseeing, as the Beyond Life program. He's going to be the comic book editor for the two comics that the inmates and that are going to be making for the Beyond Life program. Now, interestingly, speaking of Beyond Life, a couple of years ago, that Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security. Her husband's just been caught with the boobies and all that. Kristi Noem? The former governor of South Dakota. When I was looking to start that program in America a few years ago, I actually contacted her. I'll have the emails somewhere because I put them up on Instagram, and I was asking if she would be interested in helping me set up the program. And then there was a prison in Florida who contacted me, and they were like, we think this is a brilliant idea. And I had a phone call with the woman who ran this department for the prison in Florida, and then I never heard from her again. So I know it was shut down from the inside. But Kristi Noem was one of the ones that I went to, and she completely shat on me. So she's getting calmer, isn't she? Because that's what happens when, like if I come to you with an offer, it's like if I say, hey, do you want to come on board? Do you want to get involved? It's working for God. It's doing God's work. So when you shit on me, God comes after you. Because it's karma. Because you don't do that to God's daughter. If you're being offered a golden egg, what moron says no to a golden egg? If the golden goose is offering you a golden egg, it's like a test, and she failed, and that's why she followed Trump and thought, well, I'll just not get involved with her because anything to stop me getting from America, anything to stop me succeeding in what I was doing, Trump and Musk and that were going to do it. And so when I went to these prisons and that, a couple of them were really interested. I had a meeting with one of them. Everything was going really well, and then it was dead in the water. And she was one of the ones that dumped on me. And now look. So with the Beyond Life program, the Quantum Menace comic book is going to be made for the inmate program. Obviously, I'm probably going to have to do it with like inmates in a Swiss prison now, because I'm going to Switzerland. So Ashton Richardson, she's the perfect character. So what I was thinking was keeping it within that kind of budget and all of that. I'm not going to tell you the storyline because I've already had people try and steal my sister's identity from the Dear Satan cause, and for ex-profile follies of Baby Doll Productions and all that. But Ashton Richardson was the first character that I created for my sister Erin. She's got red hair, she's got the green eyes, she's got she's Lady Astrid Richardson. Richardson is one of her family names. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a modern zombie movie, where I'm trying, how do I say it without giving away too much? All I'll say is that there's some construction work and the mummy's going to be found. And as Estes helping put things together, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about it. But it's a modern mummy movie. And yeah, I've just told my sister, so she gets 2 full-length movies. And it'll be modern day. And I'm not sure what I want the mummy to look like yet, but probably a typical mummy. But yeah, there's more to it than meets the eye. But it's like a brand new seed, so I'm going to sit on it for a bit. And see what comes of it. But we'll be able to film most of it in the studio, you know, in the production hangar studio thing, and probably be able to film most of it on location within sort of like the Switzerland, France, Germany. I'm thinking like France, because of, you know, the necropolis and all that. Like we could do like a whole thing there. But I don't know. I mean, we could absolutely do it in Switzerland. I'm going to have a really good look around Switzerland. But we can absolutely turn it into a modern day thing. Oh, and then yeah, SD basically being like the one I was going to say the one who unravels everything, but it's kind of the other way around. She doesn't unravel; she puts together, and yeah, things happen. So yeah, Mummy movie. How exciting! I'm just yeah, Esty. She dresses like Amelia Earhart and all that because she's from the 1920s, and then she meets Ben on a time slip, because you know she deciphers ancient texts and books and you know ancient songs and that sort of thing, and she's the one that introduces Ben to Ven Pai, who was like the mathematician kind of. She's not a mutant though. She's based on a friend of mine, Pua, who is Hmong. You know, the Hmong, the ancient Chinese Hmong people. She's Hmong, and I named a character after her, Ven Pai. And when Ben works with Ven Pai, because she's like the master of numbers and all of that, it's Ven Pai that then sends her to the Mystic in the Matrix. And it's the Mystic in the Matrix that helps Ben decipher, to figure out who Heracles is at the end. You know, who's the one that's putting the shadow folk up to, um, you know, in the Battle of Two Worlds and that. It's Mystic in the Matrix. Now, originally, Mystic in the Matrix was based on my best friend because he's like a computer scientist nerd person. And I had I had written it in that they were going to fall in love, that Olivia was going to go to the Amazon and track down the mystic, and together they were going to solve this puzzle that would unveil who Heracles was, who Art Morda was working for. And then they fell in love and all of that, but now Olivia is Ben. So, yeah. So there we go. So Ashley's going to have her own mummy movie. I don't have a name for it yet. Just like I don't have a name for my vampire movie, I don't have a name for my werewolf movie either. My slasher movie is Mother Knows Best. Then we've got Unorthodox. I don't have a name for my exorcism movie either. But yeah, the seeds that have newly been planted. So let's just see where it goes. I've been planting a lot of seeds. I've practically grown the Amazon myself. Let's see what fruit they bear, eh? So anyway, I'm going to go, and I think I might go and have myself a hot drink. And I need to think now. Put my thinking cap on. I've got to think of movie titles. I've got to think of. I have basic storylines, and also there's somebody on my ex who's a writer who's looking for work, and I said to him, as soon as I get to Switzerland and I'm ready to go, I'll have a whole pile of writing opportunities for him if he's interested in maybe writing for. I said he could write for movies, games, TV shows, that sort of thing. I said, or he could write for our website for, you know, in the marketing and all of that. He could have his pick, really. He follows me. We follow each other. So, and he's from South Africa. So he has the same beliefs in me. Like we have the same values and stuff. So, and he's a high funk. he's a high funk. So his name's Daniel. So I told him that as soon as I get justice, because he knows my story, I said as soon as I get justice, and I get to Switzerland, I will let him know, and then we can talk about getting him some writing work, because he's having a real hard time of it at the moment, and I want to help him because, he follows me and he doesn't judge, and we have the same values. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I said he can work from home. So, yeah. So let's see how it goes. So the seeds are growing. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō.